Most agents will tell you that it takes 45, 60, or even 90 days to sell a house. I'm going to show you why that's costing you money and how the right strategy can put your home under contract in 19 days or less without giving away your equity. Because here's the truth, days on the market isn't a timeline metric, it's a price signal. What I mean by that is that most sellers don't realize that the market starts to discount their home way before they do. Here's what I mean. The longer a home sits on the market, the more buyers start to ask what's wrong. These are called what's wrong questions. What's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? How low will they go? That's a big one. That's when leverage starts to shift away from the seller into the buyer. And after years of watching listings in the same neighborhood with similar square footage and similar condition and similar attributes, I can tell you this. The homes that win are not always the best homes. They're the best positioned homes. Did you know how long your home sits on the market actually impacts your final sales price more than most sellers even realize? Days on the market's like a giant vacuum underneath your house, sucking the value out of it little by little and day by day. And that's why this matters so much. A home that lingers, it creates a lot of doubt. Doubt creates lower offers. Lower offers create a lot of pressure, and pressure causes sellers to make emotional decisions instead of strategic ones. We can't do that. Days on the market is a silent price cut. A lot of sellers think, we'll just start high and see what happens. Well, that sounds pretty safe, but in many cases, that's the exact move that costs the most money. Because when you miss the launch window, you don't just lose time, you lose momentum. You lose credibility and negotiating strength. This is a big deal. So if your goal is to get the most money, most people it is, in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle, you need more than a sign in the yard and an MLS entry. You need a system. And that's where my 5P framework comes in. This is how we get homes sold in less time than other agents with the same house on the same street without sacrificing price in the process. I know it seems like a surprise, but bear with me here. And yes, the framework is behind how we can make such a bold promise like this. If we don't sell your house in 19 days, we will buy it. Now listen, I don't want to buy your home. That's the kicker here. I can and I will, but what I really want for you is what you want, the most money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. That's what every seller wants. And here's how we do it. The first thing is price. Price it right, not too high, not too low, just right. The sweet spot where buyers will look at it and think, yeah, that seems about right. That's a good thing. Buyers know value. They know it like they know the price of bread on a shelf or gasoline at the pump. They may not say that in that way, but they feel it instantly. When a home is overpriced, traffic slows way down, showings drop, and the listings start to age. And the longer it ages, the lower the final sales price usually becomes. Speed without strategy is just a discount. Second P, preparation. Before the cameras roll and buyers walk through the front door, have you done everything you can to make the home show its best? You get one first impression, don't you? One. This is where a little elbow grease and a handyman and some decluttering, paint touch-ups, better lighting, and a sharper presentation can create a major return for you. Sellers miss this all the time because they're busy and overwhelmed or poorly advised. But what you do on the front end often pays you back dividends on the back end. Unprepared homes sit longer. Longer days on the market create lower confidence. Lower confidence creates lower offers. The third P, positioning. This is where sellers make one of the biggest mistakes in real estate. They assume that all agents do the same thing. That is one of the deadliest assumptions in home selling. If a seller believes every agent produces the same result, then the decision will become about who they like or who they know or who charges less. Yeah, that happens all the time. But nice doesn't sell homes. Strategy does. Positioning is the way that your home gets seen, perceived, and pursued by the right buyers. And in this market, average marketing is not enough. This isn't 2021. Interest rates are higher, monthly payments matter more to people. Buyers are more selective. Gas prices are crazy. Households are more budget conscious than they have been in a long time. So your home has to be positioned beyond basic MLS syndication. That means stronger messaging, better visual presentation, sharper launch timing, smarter exposure, and a marketing approach built for today's buyer psychology, not yesterday's market. The fourth P, protecting. This is the great separator. Protecting means an agent's ability to defend your bottom line through marketing and negotiation combined. A lot of people think that the hard part is getting an offer. Yeah, it's hard, but it's not the hardest thing. The hardest part is handling the moment correctly once the offer hits. That's where sellers either gain leverage or leak money. I've seen this so many times where agents fumble this part and cost the seller $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And in one case, the difference was $60,000 because of how the home was marketed, how we did that, and how the negotiation was handled. And that kind of protection doesn't happen by accident. It comes from training. It comes from pattern recognition and years, 26 years in the trenches. Look, when your agent knows how to structure terms, manage urgency, and read the buyer and protect concessions, more money reaches your bank account and the timeline fits your plan. Bad negotiation leaks the profit that you save by selling fast. Fifth, post-close. Most agents treat this transaction like a one-and-done event. The sign comes down, the check clears, and the relationship disappears. It's a huge mistake. And here's the reason so many sellers don't go back to the same agent the next time that they actually make a move. They didn't get a guide. They got a transaction. Great agents stay in the relationship. They answer questions. They help with contractors. They provide market updates, property reviews, and ongoing guidance long after the closing happens. Because when life changes again, and it usually does, you already know who to call. So picture two sellers on the same street with similar homes. Heck, identical homes. One launches with the wrong price, weak prep, average exposure, and shaky negotiations. The other launches with the 5P framework that we use. One gets stale, one gets attention. One starts chasing the market, one leads it. One feels a lot of stress, the other feels control. And the difference is not luck. The difference is strategy. If you think about selling, don't guess your way into longer days on the market and a lower net proceeds. Start with the right plan. My team and I can walk you through the 5P framework for your specific home. We'll show you where your price window really is and what prep actually matters and how to position your property to sell faster and for more money. Go to soldbyyoder.com now because the goal isn't just to sell your house. The goal is to sell it right.